Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out True Off My Chest. Story 1. Difference between emotional physical pain. Been reflecting and going to speak into the void because I love doing that apparently. The difference between emotional pain and physical pain is how long after it ends you can still feel it. 9 weeks ago I gave birth to my favorite person ever, and coincidentally the most precious angel baby on this planet. Teehee. And I was screaming and crying for hours. The pain was so excruciating, every second felt like an eternity, and I was at the point of begging them to cut me open and get her out. 9 weeks later, I don't remember much what it felt like. Only that it was enough for me to scream and cry, something I never do, and loud enough I'm sure the whole hospital heard it. I didn't even know I could scream like that because I never scream and I rarely cry. But emotional pain, depending on the severity, you will always be able to remember what it felt like, even months, years later. And with that, it's so important to protect your mental. Always. That's the conclusion. No emotional pain is worth it. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 2. My best friend received terrible news and I don't know how to support her. 6 years ago, I, now F19, received the terrible news that my dad was diagnosed with cancer. Unfortunately, this cancer and treatment led to other illnesses and forms of cancer which resulted in his death a little over 3 years ago. I have to admit that I have not properly processed his death yet, which I think is partly due to not taking time to rest and not seeking professional help or people to talk to. My best friend, whom I care for a lot, received terrible news today that her father has an untreatable kind of cancer. There is still so much unclear and uncertain, but the news almost couldn't be worse. I really wish to support her and her family as best as I can, especially since I've been in that situation, but I just don't know how to. The day leading up to his diagnosis and the news has all brought back so many flashbacks and feelings that I suppressed. I can't help feeling guilty about my feelings, and I feel like in my head, I'm making this about me, when she is going to a terrible situation right now. I just don't know what I can do to support her when it's also really hitting me hard. Story 3. Husband's family caught us. I need to hear some embarrassing stories to make me not feel so bad. My husband and I are on vacation with his family, parents, 2 sisters, partners. I'm 7 months pregnant with our second baby. We rented a large house to share. Our first 18-month-old is sharing a room with us. The whole family was going out to dinner tonight, but we decided to stay back at the house because it was a long day for Lo and I was feeling pretty tired myself. After feeding Lo and getting her to sleep, I guess I got a second wind and my husband and I started to get a little hot and heavy. I cannot keep my hands off my husband when I'm pregnant, and it's been very difficult for me sharing this house with his family the past few days. We couldn't go into our room because our daughter was sleeping in there. It seemed like the family had only been gone for maybe 45 minutes, not long enough for dinner. We were both completely naked, with him sitting on the couch and me on top of him, reverse cowgirl, best I can describe, very into it and riding him. His family walked right in the door and caught us. I was mortified. Am mortified. They saw everything. Heard everything. His one sister said, "Well, now I know why you didn't want to go to dinner. I mean, everyone is just trying to brush it off with a joke, but I'm so embarrassed. It's totally different than just having somebody maybe overhear you, which would also be incredibly embarrassing for me." Story 4. My husband wants to close our marriage. I don't. I waited until I was 50 to get married because I wanted to be a grown adult person making grown adult decisions within my relationship. My husband is 11 years younger than me, and he decided that the hormonal changes I was going through during perimenopause did not meet with his sexual satisfaction levels, and suggested that we go to a lifestyle party. When we get to the party, I have the attention of everyone in the room, male and female alike. My husband, however, has not received the attention from other females that he expected. Addition to his own insecurities about his body, he came to have insecurities about what other men were provided for me that he did not. His stance was that he didn't want his wife out having a good time and bringing the sparkle for other men that he doesn't get for himself at home. My response was that me spending time with my connection was to me the equivalent of self-care, and going to the salon to get my nails done. My husband rarely goes to the salon with me to get my nails done, but he benefits from me keeping myself beautiful. He resented that analogy. Going back a few months, after we decided to open the marriage to other connections, my husband began policing my communications, and what activity could take place on a date. And there was an understanding that our connections would be acquaintances in a sense. However, he broke the rules by going on a dating app, going out of town, having dinner with this woman, and then staying out till 1 a.m. to have sex with this woman without telling me beforehand. My solution was to show him how hurt I was considering how I allowed him to develop the path of my connections, but he didn't offer me the same courtesy. The reason I am unsatisfied with my husband now is because he has shown characteristic flaws that have burdened me, weighed me down, and is keeping the prisoner inside this marriage. Prior to his exploration, I was perfectly content in my monogamous marriage. I told him about Pandora's box, and how you can never undo every evil that was released when you opened the lid. Yet, his ego requires that I belong only to him. To be honest, I didn't think my husband even thought I was pretty until he saw that other men were attracted to me, and both inside and out. He feels threatened, and now I'm in prison. Story 5. My mom, who I have been low contact with for nearly 3 years, asked me why I won't give her another chance. Hey race, my response: I'll never send. The end of our relationship was not my decision, it was yours. You are the parent and I am the child, which puts you in an extreme power position no matter what you want to say. You hung up on me, texted me abusive messages, and then told me you were done with me, all because I called to make sure you were okay. So yes, I took a break from communicating with you, and I believe I was right to do that, as I had done nothing wrong, and as your child no longer knew how to help, as my mother was just insulting me for no reason. Once I cooled off and calmed down, I called you several times in late December 2020 and early 2021 to try to talk, and you never responded. At that point, I'm not groveling for you to talk to me when you A. were the one who hurt me, and B. made it perfectly clear you did not want to talk by not responding. I'm not sure why you are framing this as if it is my call when you are the one who stopped communicating with me. When you reached back out on my birthday, I responded kindly and even reached out again when I was concerned about you and the hurricane to try to restart our communication. You never reached back out and then texted me asking why can't I give our relationship another chance. This message made it clear you see mending this as my responsibility, which I simply do not agree with. You claim I've never given you a chance when my door has always been open. In fact, I've never not responded to a message from you. You stopped communicating with me and now think it's my responsibility to work on rebuilding our relationship, and that's not fair. You cannot just say that the past is behind us. The past was very hurtful for me, and as someone who was still developing a sense of self, how much you emotionally relied on me since college was wrong altogether and taught me to give far too much in other relationships in my life. I'm finally almost 3 years of no contact. I have a boyfriend who loves me, and we just renewed on an apartment we love in the city I moved to last year. My new job is great, I'm making new friends, reconnecting with old ones, and for the first time in my life I'm finally able to make decisions for myself without having to put you first. So to answer your question, I'm out of chances for you, Mom. Instead, I'm taking a chance to be happy, and I hope you can understand that one day. Story 6. I, 15F, met a little boy, 5M, on a cruise. It was a 3-day cruise. Day 3 we went to Nassau and were scheduled to swim with dolphins. After the dolphins we went back to the beach and waited for a boat to take us back to the cruise ship. While waiting, I sat in the ocean water and dug my hands through the sand to find rocks and skip them. A little boy approached me and started talking to me about how he found a big rock and started skipping rocks with me. He was the most adorable 5-year-old I ever met. While we were both digging through the sand, we found rocks that had pink stuff engraved into them, as well as small white rocks that resembled shark teeth. He told me that we can find pink rocks and shark teeth and sell them and become billionaires. He was just so cute and sweet, and I'm sad that I couldn't find him again on our cruise to say hello. I'm not sure if his parents use Reddit, but they were very kind-hearted people. So if you are the parent of Declan, it how to spell his name, and we're on a cruise during August 6th, please tell him I said hello. I'm not sure if this is the correct sub, and I'm sorry for any grammatical errors. Please do not come for me. Also, you might not care, but I just wanted to tell someone. Edit. People said that his name might be spelled Declan. I apologize for any confusion. Story 7. I don't know how to balance the internet and real life. Because having a social media is so common nowadays, I'm afraid that without it I'm a nobody. I want to be on social media, enjoying myself and chasing my purpose. But I'm afraid of people in real life seeing my online social profiles. I'm afraid of meeting people that have seen me online, I'm afraid of people knowing who I date, I'm afraid of people I come in contact with, sharing my personal business and then viewing my social media. I'm just afraid of social media, period. And I do not know why. Story 8. My childhood friend, 21M, didn't invite me, 20M, to his wedding. Hey, guys. I have a group of childhood friends. We've been friends for a long time. Friendship has always been based on our common interests, mainly sports and other guy stuff. I've always been friends with everyone in the group, but I'm a very introspective person. So I've never had an individually strong friendship with anyone. My interactions have always been more collective. But I can't imagine my life without them. If I look at my photo album, then they will be there in all important moments. When we finished high school, I went to college on the other side of the country. I'm the only one who left our hometown to study. So, our solution was the creation of a group chat. Of course, with that, their friendship among themselves grew stronger. While I could only interact mostly through the group chat. That's probably why I'm the most active person in the group chat. But I've always made sure to seize the opportunities that came up to meet them in person. Of course, things have changed a bit during this time, but I still like these guys as if we were still schoolmates. Last summer, one of my friends announced that he was getting married this summer. We all congratulated him. Since he sent the message in a small group of friends, I assumed it was understood that everyone in the group would be invited to the wedding. Some friends traveled with him for the bachelor party, and everything was okay. I never expected to be invited to that, and anyway, I was on the other side of the country. No problem there. When summer approached, I let them know I would be back in town and doing a remote internship. I met up with some friends as soon as I arrived in town. I remembered that the wedding was coming up and hoped my friend would reach out to me to personally deliver the invitation. After a while, I opened my social media and saw pictures of all my friends at the wedding party. I didn't understand. Why wasn't I invited? I was really hurt. I've never supposed that I shouldn't be invited. Eventually, I ran into the groom. I avoided greeting him, and he approached me and asked why I wasn't talking to him. My response was that if he thought there was no reason to invite me to the wedding, then why should I greet him? He said he didn't even know I was in town, that he thought I would be away, that he hadn't seen me in person since I went to college, and that I didn't even know his bride. But he still likes me and wants to maintain the friendship. All of that is true. But he never reached out when I met my other friends. I don't feel guilty about any of these things. I felt it was all a flimsy excuse, as well as saying he likes me and wants to maintain the friendship. If he likes me, why didn't he ask before the wedding if I would be in town? I've never seen a wedding where only people from the town are invited, there's always someone from out of town. It's like he forgot more than 10 years of friendship due to 2 years of group chat. As I said at the beginning, I'm very introspective and all the boys know it. If he felt that something had seriously changed in our friendship, he should have reached out to me. For me, everything has always been the same. Some friends agree with him, others with me. Honestly, I'm devastated. I felt like only few of my already small group of friends are really my friends. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.